What's up, Guardians? Welcome to DNA Weekly Strike. Corey, Joey, here again. Third week in a row without Brian. Jerk. Just kidding.
His car is really broken.
I know, his car is really broken. But, no, we have a question that I've been holding on to for a while. And I wanted to wait to answer this question until we got our hands on the division. And, where do games like Call of Duty, Halo, and Gears of War, and games like that, fit in with games like The Division and Destiny that offer so much more? And are they still worth the $60 price tag?
I'm going to start with the $60 price tag thing, at least my opinion on it. For a long time now, I don't think Call of Duty has deserved a $60 price tag. A lot of the times it feels like it's the same game that just with a new skin. They really can't have done too much behind the physics engines, behind anything, like behind the gun mechanics, like how they work or anything like that. So I feel like they're always like using the same game engine when they build one of those games. So it's really, I don't think that those first person shooter games should deserve a $60 price tag. Gears, I could see that one.
Yeah.
Because that one, each time, it's a completely different story. It's a well-designed, well-written. There's a lot more that goes into it. A lot more voice acting that actually is meaningful and whatnot.
Yeah, so, I could argue the same point for Halo, too.
Right. Those two I could see maybe getting a $60. Call of Duty.
It's games like Call of Duty and
Battlefield. The story missions, they're there. They're fun, but it's not really that special. There's nothing really like that entertaining. It's usually you just running through a horde of enemies coming at you, and you just, come out on the other end. There's no boss encounters. There's no, I don't know. There's sometimes quick time events or whatnot, but other than that, it's really not that much. That's really that.
Yeah,
that's spectacular.
I really agree with you, and it's going to be interesting how these games evolve based on Destiny and in the Division, and like we saw it with Call of Duty for a little bit. Like last month on Steam, where they sold the multiplayer for just $15, like the basic multiplayer package. You couldn't prestige, and you could level up all your weapons, but you couldn't prestige and do it again or whatever.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do all that and have the full game, you just paid the difference.
Okay.
Where like it's going to be really interesting to see. Oh, you just want Call of Duty multiplayer? Come here, download it for $30. Download it for $40. It'll probably be 40 because the campaign's 3 hours long. But games like Halo, I actually think did it really smart this time. Say what you will about the campaign, I have enough to say about that. But like that campaign is really like thought out, and it's really long. I think the campaign was like 9 or 10 hours. A lot of work went into that and stuff, and then you got your multiplayer suite. But there's no season pass. There's no paying for maps or anything. So that's the route they went, where you paid $60, but you get all the future content free until Halo 6 comes out.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of a smart decision.
See, if that's what Call of Duty ends up doing, I could see them then charging $60 for their game.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But
it's like right now at this point they're charging $60 for the game, and then like what is it, $50 for the season pass? So that's $110 right now for a full Call of Duty game.
Yeah, and like we were just talking about this off camera about Battlefront 2. There's even less there than Call of Duty, and it was still $60 with the $50 season pass.
Yeah.
And I understand that game's like pure fan service, but like honestly that game should have been $40
at most
with maybe a $30 season pass.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's Star Wars, but I mean, come on.
Gotta pay for that license somehow, dude.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Gears of War, I'm a big Gears fan. But that game has so much more than just multiplayer. Like, it's got the campaign. It's got horde mode. It's got the multiplayer stuff. And there's loads to do in multiplayer. I just feel like...
I mean, people could argue Call of Duty does the same thing, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's just there's definitely more in depth into like Gears than there is in Call of Duty.
Yeah, but like then you get into let's look at the structure of Destiny. You have these big, huge open maps, and with so much to do within the maps, and then you got the strikes, and then you got the raids, and then you got the Crucible, and then you got the new quest lines and the missions, and then you got Prison of Elders. Like, look how much you get for $60 compared to Call of Duty in these games. And I know they're completely different types of games, but like, I mean, you're not. I don't know how to explain it. There's just I just feel like there's more to do in Destiny for the $60.
It just feels like you get more for your money when you pay $60 for Destiny than versus $60 for Call of Duty.
Yeah, and like let's extend it past Destiny. Like look at games like The Witcher that take like 200 hours to complete for $60, or Metal Gear Solid takes 100 hours to do everything in that game. You know, you look at these other open world games that take up a majority of your time. Fallout, even, you know.
Yeah.
Look at these big, huge open world experiences that you're getting for $60.
Granted, you could say, you know, Call of Duty you can play for an infinite number of hours because of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you've got to enjoy that kind of game. Which I mean, you could argue that. So I think it's an opinion based, you know, decision here.
Definitely.
I mean, I can't. I'm not a first-person shooter person anymore. Like, so that's why for me it seems weird for me to justify spending $60 on that. Where I love open world exploration games and I love just like roaming around and trying like finding things. So that's why I think I'm way more willing to pay $60 for a game like Fallout versus like for Call of Duty. Even though in like a few years ago I probably played Call of Duty 10 times more than I played any other game I had for the Xbox 360. So
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how these types of game evolve, or like if they start piecemealing their content, like $30 for multiplayer, $15 for zombies, $20 for campaign, or if you buy it all together, you get a discount and buy it for $60. You know,
that'll be hard to do on consoles.
See, I don't think so. Not with this digital type future thing.
I could see buying it in the shop not being an issue, but like saying buying the disc game.
Yeah.
Buying the disc game, it'll probably be more hassle than it's worth.
Yeah.
Because you know how many people are going to go to the store, see that disc, and just go buy it thinking it's the full game, and then go and when they get home and it's going to be a hassle. So it's just I feel like if you're buying the disc, you're probably going to pay the full price for the full game anyway. But I could see them doing like in like the eShop or whatever, you can buy individual, you know, parts.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Hitman is doing it is, you know, you pay $15 per episode, but if you wait until January, you get it all for $60, or you can download the season pass now for $60, when you save like $10 on the whole package. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how these games evolve, or if they even want to try to compete with Destiny in the division.
Right.
Because to be honest, they are two separate games, even though technically Destiny and Call of Duty are both first-person shooters. But Destiny is also very heavily inspired by MMO space, whereas Call of Duty is more traditional.
And that was the first part of the question. I don't think we've answered that as well as we probably should have yet. But where do these games like fit in with those? They aren't. I wouldn't say they're necessarily like the same type of game. Like, I understand there's elements in Destiny that are like a first-person shooter multiplayer game, but then again, those multiplayer games offer a lot more. Like, I guess, variation you can do on the game types and whatnot in those, because it's more like focused for that multiplayer competitive experience, whereas Destiny isn't really. It's there, it's added for like you to go and to be able to play it, but it's not necessarily there to be the main focus of the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like, they're each going to have their own place. They're not going to really affect each other as much as one might think initially.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think Halo or Call of Duty or Gears are going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
But at the same time, you can definitely tell that these games aren't as popular as they were 4-5 years ago. So I don't know. We'll see. But thank you so much for joining us this week on DNA Weekly Strike. You can find a new episode every week on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share. And you can find all of our content on digitalnerdadvocates.com. Thank you so much for watching. And until next week, we're out. Okay. Woo. Weekly Strike done. Woo!
How does Goofy get his shield to stay on his butt?